All right, we got the Dolphins' top 10 wideouts. Number 10, Jalen Waddle. He's a monster with the ball in his hands. He's great after the catch. He moved on to Denver, but when he was in Miami, he was a focal point of the offense. Number 9, O.J. McDuffie. Possession guy, kind of like Keenan Allen, Marino's go-to guy in the mid-90s. He led the NFL with 90 receptions in 1988. I think people forget how good he was. Number 8, Jarvis Landry. There were questions about Landry and his speed coming out the draft. It was like a running back playing wide receiver, and he put those concerns to bed with his Pro Bowl performances. He went to work. 90-plus receptions 3 years in a row. 2017, he led the NFL with 112 catches, which is also a Dolphins franchise record. All right, number 7, Irving Fryer. Drafted 1 overall by the Patriots in 1984. He had a rocky decade in New England, came to Miami and really revitalized his career. Back-to-back Pro Bowl, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and this is all after Marino tore his Achilles. It was, a bit of a tumultuous quarterback situation. He was still one of the best wideouts of the mid-90s. Number 6, Chris Chambers. This guy was acrobatic, made some incredible catches. His vertical was insane. He was drafted in 2001 and quickly became the team's number 1 wide receiver. He had some quarterback issues too. I think he had a year with A.J. Feely. 2005, he had one of the best seasons by a wide receiver in Dolphins history with Gus Frerotte at quarterback. Physically, one of the most gifted athletes to ever play for the Dolphins. At number 5, Nat Moore, staple of Miami's offense for 13 years, from the mid-70s to the mid-80s. This guy was dangerous with the ball in his hands, similar to Robert Woods with the Rams. He didn't have huge receiving numbers, but he caught a lot of touchdown passes. Pro Bowl in 1977 and led the NFL with 12 receiving touchdowns. Second in Dolphins history with 74 career receiving touchdowns. Number 4, Tyreek Hill, one of the most explosive players to ever play the game. 22 and 23, possibly the best 2-year stretch by a receiver ever. Top 10 in MVP voting both years. First team All-Pro both years. He was the best wide receiver in football. The last few years, he's come back down to earth, some off-field issues. We'll see if he has anything left in the tank. All right, number 3, Mark Duper. He was a track star in college. It was more than just speed. He played at a high level for over a decade in Miami. Marino loved to hit him with that deep ball. 3-time Pro Bowler and had monster years in 84 and 86, and he formed one half of the Mark Brothers duo. Number 2, Mark Clayton, who was the second half of the Mark Brothers duo, was a 5th-round steal, turned into a 5-time Pro Bowler, franchise all-time leader in receiving touchdowns. He was Marino's favorite target and played a lot like Stephon Diggs. In fact, his chemistry with Marino was similar to Diggs and Allen. In 1984, Clayton had one of the greatest seasons by a receiver in NFL history. 1,300 yards and 18 receiving touchdowns, which led the NFL. He would lead the NFL again with 14 receiving touchdowns in 1988, by far the most productive receiver the Dolphins have had. Number 1, Paul Warfield, was already a star in Cleveland, and then Miami made a bold move and traded for him in 1970, and it turned them into championship contenders overnight. Miami's offense built on ball control, pounding the rock, Zonka, Morris kick. It gave them a true deep threat. Olympic level speed. Don Shula made a brilliant move to go get him. The Dolphins, Warfield made 5 Pro Bowls, 2-time first team All-Pro, averaged over 20 yards a catch, which is absurd, hugely impactful. Had some big playoff moments. He doesn't have the biggest numbers considering the era he played in, but he may be one of the most impactful receivers in NFL history. He was a difference maker. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1983. But there's our list. Dolphins are deep at wideout. Let's go to the metric real quick. Metric was on point, although I disagreed a little bit. Metric had O.J. McDuffie at 6. No, I couldn't do that. Had Fryer at 10. I had Fryer higher. Rondé Gadsden, I see you. Howard Twilley.